Hello everybody, my name is Jeff H. Malum and welcome to a quick update video about the release of Backfire Voices of Violence. First things first, the German version of Backfire Voices of Violence has just released today. You can click the link in the description to the German version and can order it right away. However, there is some delay to the English version. Let me briefly explain why and when you can expect it. The release of Voices of Violence has been preponed, as you can tell, because 20 Hands just released less than 2 months ago. So yeah, the frequency of releasing Backfire was originally intended to be around about once every 6 months and not every 2 months. So why is Voices of Violence already out there and why only in German? The release of Voices of Violence was part of a competition, a German writers competition, where authors can send in their newest German releases and they can participate in a competition, in newcomer authors competition. However, there were some restrictions to it. One of them is that it had to be German and it can only be released like one at a time. I cannot release other languages at the same time, and I am not allowed to do so until the competition is over. That means that the English version of Voices of Violence will release sometime around, within the next 4 weeks. I cannot be more precise at the current point of time, but I will update you, of course, on this channel, on my blog, and on Instagram. And yeah, I'm sorry for the delay. It's because of this competition, which I really wanted to participate in. Now, what is Voices of Violence? As you can tell, since it's called Extra 1, it's not the third Backfire book. No, instead, it's the pilot book of the Backfire anthology series. So what the hell is the anthology series? The Backfire anthology is a series of books set in the Backfire universe that releases in between seasons. So with 20 Hands, the first season of Backfire is over, and now one anthology book releases before season 2 continues next year. The anthology is always set around other people, at other places, probably sometimes at other times as well, maybe even set before the apocalypse, but it is always centered around something that is connected to the Backfire series. And this link might be very, very tiny. Now, in Voices of Violence, for example, the story is about the policeman of the GSG called Dave. The group has met Dave in chapter 3 of the first book, In Solitude, but their ways have been separated quite quickly. However, Dave's story is far from over. Voices of Violence continues his story. So if you have not yet read 20 Hands, or perhaps not even completed In Solitude, then do not worry. You can still read Voices of Violence if you haven't read anything of the main books, because it's a separate story. And of course, there are some links to the main story, to the main characters, to the main books, but it is still a separate story. You can read it whenever you want. And yeah, you do not really need the connections. They are only there for, well, for those who have fun with these kinds of connections. One could say fan service, so to say. So, to summarize that, Backfire Voices of Violence is the first part of the Backfire anthology, which tells stories apart from Julian T. Crow and his group. And the first volume, Voices of Violence, well, it is out now, at least in German, and the English version will release within the next few weeks. I will keep you updated on my blog and on Instagram. Thanks for your support and read you all soon.